First nationwide tour for all of you, which is pretty dope. So you guys all teamed up.
I wouldn't say it's pretty dope. I would say
it's
fucking monumental.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. Let's have.
It's literally okay. It's unheard of.
Let's have a moment of silence.
No one does this shit.
No, I don't think.
Just so everyone's aware.
I've seen co-headlining, but I've never seen three guys. Three Stooges.
Also, with no agent or label or funding.
Shout out to Matt Keen.
We out of pocketed it.
Matt Keen.
You know what I'm saying?
Pop his show.
But yeah, shout out to Matt for.
Shout out to everyone involved who was just down for the cause too. Because
I was there for 4 shows.
People
I still
really.
got the bearded guy.
It was.
I kicked it off the right way.
I don't want to say it was because it's still going, but especially the first leg, it was just like. First leg was 16 shows. The second leg is 6 shows, so it's like kind of a different. Like we went through the fucking ringer on the first one.
Everything's a breeze. Man.
But it was like
fire.
It was such a team effort, and it was so cool because like every piece is so like pivotal. You know what I mean? Like not like outside of us too. Like there's so many people that just pulled up to a show, cop tickets, or like. Dudes that opened and killed it, or Ryan Pod tour managing, or like anybody like that's involved. It was like
it's a win-win for everybody.
We need every piece of it.
Purpose in the Youth. Purpose in the Youth podcast. Welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast with your favorite bearded man, the one, the only, Bobbbaaaay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast with your favorite bearded man, the one, the only, Bobbbaaaay. Today, Groupisode number 2, Dylan Reese, Abstract, Ryan Oaks in the house. What's going on?
What's going on?
You know what's great?
Hello.
Hey, you guys have all been on this podcast before.
That's the point.
That is true.
This will be Dylan's third.
Yeah, dude.
The big number 3.
Also, we did a podcast together.
We did.
Called Breakfast is Served.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, so I'm a podcaster.
He's a
I'm
podcaster.
It's like the
Artist
Power
by day,
Rangers.
podcaster by night.
Excuse me?
Artist by day, podcaster by night.
That's fair.
Well,
Sure.
for reference, if people are listening, we had
the
Abstract
other way
on for episode 96. Yeah, you're right. Episode 96, Dylan Reese for episode 28 and Groupisode number 1. And Ryan Oaks for episode 61.
That's a good number.
Fellas,
Damn.
welcome to the Groupisode number 2. Are you ready
Yes.
for this experience?
Yes. Absolutely.
To kick it off for maybe the 3 people that listen that have no idea who any of you are, 60 seconds, round table. Who are you? Where are you from? And one interesting fact about you.
My name is Ryan Oaks.
I love how he just
I'm
immediately went for it.
I'm a musician from Northern Virginia initially. I reside here in LA now, doing it full time. I'm 23 years old. Yeah.
Nice.
That's all I got to say. You know what I'm saying?
Golf clap from Ryan.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
That was
Abstract, what we got? What we got?
Good.
My name is Abstract. My real name is Luke. I am 24 years old. Almost 25. October. Crazy.
Damn.
That's crazy.
24 and a half, bro.
Time flies when you have
Y'all
fun.
got
boys.
grandkids
That's true.
at this point.
I grew up in Jackson, Wyoming, and yeah, what was the other part?
Fun fact.
Fun fact about me: I can jump down to 6th stair on a unicycle.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's real, too. Like, he's not
impressive.
joking.
That's
I'm
impressive.
not joking.
It doesn't sound very fun, but I guess it just depends who you ask.
It's fun.
I'll break my whole neck if I did that.
Save the best for last.
Hey, thanks, bro.
Definitely.
Means a lot.
Definitely, bro.
I hope to God that whoever listens to this podcast knows who I am because I'm Bob's roommate. He's my best friend. I'm not his. We grew up together in Chicopee, Mass. 24. Full-time musician. Dylan Reese. Wait, I'm 25.
25.
Did I say 24?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
I don't know.
I don't know. It confused me, too.
So yeah, we're here. We're gonna do it.
You guys are touring nationwide right now. Virtual reality. Which we'll
reality.
get into at some point. I want to kind of set this up and kind of go through a little bit of the backstory of each, even though I probably know the answers of some of these questions and you guys probably know it, but I'm sure there's going to be somebody that might not.
Well, Bob, here's the thing, man. This is a podcast.
Definitely.
So like when you put it out,
Yeah.
people will listen to it
And they have never heard of it.
to like grasp new information.
For sure.
That's why we're here.
Awesome.
So
We're here to
strap up
learn.
your seatbelts.
We're here to learn.
Let's all look into the camera while we talk the whole time.
Hey, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Everyone put a thumbs
No,
up.
we're not doing it. I'm not
All right,
doing
cool.
it.
Okay.
Sorry.
When did you guys start recording music? And what inspired you to do so?
This is my first day, actually.
I like this.
I haven't put any music out yet.
This
No,
is the first microphone I've talked into.
First microphone ever.
I started recording music in 2008 or 9. a long time ago, when Ryan was like 10.
Prehistoric.
He like skipped a bunch of years. He skipped like ages like 13 through 15. Anyway,
For sure.
It's a leap year guy.
Yeah, long time. So,
But what was the inspiration for that first time to getting into it?
it's being a jackass.
Oh, yeah.
I made like parody songs.
Yep.
You know the story.
I know the deal.
Yeah, I was just like fucking around. I was joking completely.
Weird
and
Al
then-
Reese.
It was literally stuff like that. Like
Solid.
I made a song about Yao Ming.
Really?
About like
Hit.
me and my
Absolute
boy.
hit.
Me and my boy were both dating Yao Ming, but it was about how he was like 7'6" and Asian. It was funny, but it was
What?
it was to the song. It was to "Same Girl" by R. Kelly.
Oh my
You know how
God.
like they think they're dating the same girl, but it's a twin. Ours was like, yeah, we're both fucking Yao Ming. It was really
dope.
stupid,
It was really
but
That's out
we did
there.
like a webcam video and we just sang it live. Like, we didn't record it, and then like the whole school was just watching it. So we're like, damn, this is cool. I didn't know you could. Like,
You were
put-
the only guys doing that.
put stuff
That's
on
why
the
it was,
internet, and then
it
it's
was
the
like
thing.
the big deal.
So then like I wrote the whole thing and we did a bunch more because like people were just laughing at it. It was hilarious. And then like my group of friends was like, yo, you're actually writing these like really fast. You should like try to rap or some shit. I'm just like, all right. Copped a Rock Band mic.
Solid.
Rapped into that for 2 years.
Hell yeah.
Made like 12 mixtapes in a day. Put them out on Facebook.
See you later.
That's how I got
Piff
here.
Too. Dat Piff.
Shout out to Dat Piff.
Yeah, shout out
That's
to Dat
OG.
Piff.
I love
Everybody
that
started
shit.
there, I feel
Uh-huh.
like.
Yeah.
What about you, Abstract?
So I started when I was 17. I was, what was that, 2011, 2012, right around there. So basically, I was just freestyling at parties just for fun. Like, I would get drunk, like, just freestyle with my friends, like, whatever.
I tried that. Never worked out.
It's fun. I mean, it's just
You got
like...
the drunk part down.
You're halfway
Definitely
there.
nailed that down.
Halfway there.
Different world.
But...
Bob 2.0.
True. But, yeah, so at that point, like, when I was 17, just a lot of my life was, like, kind of in turmoil, like, my family things, like, and then I had my first real relationship, like, first real breakup, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this, like, these feelings or whatever, like, I needed to put them somewhere else. So a couple people were like, well, just take this freestyling and actually start writing, like, kind of use it as a tool, I guess. So I was, like, similar. I was just recording on my laptop, just like GarageBand, ripping like industry beats, like 6 foot, 7 foot, you know, with Lil Wayne back
Classic.
in the day. Yeah, like,
Classic Wayne.
yeah, just like ripping those and just like doing it on GarageBand, putting like 2 compressors on it. I was like, oh, here's a song.
Great mix.
Yeah, such a good mix. But yeah, I started doing that and just like same thing, putting out mixtapes just to Facebook. I didn't know how it worked.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was from a small town in Wyoming. There were kids who were kind of doing it, but
Yeah.
there was no like nobody be like, oh, this is how you do it. Like,
You were the
this is-
pioneer of Wyoming.
I guess so.
The
I mean,
pioneer.
shout out to all the people who have, you know, rapped in Wyoming, but, you know, no one really showed me what to do. So it was very much like trial and error.
Yep,
But yeah.
for sure.
Mine's pretty similar. I was like probably like my junior year of high school. I never really thought of writing music, but I was definitely the kid who was like drunk at the parties. So everyone was like, "Dude, you're pretty above average at freestyling. You
We
should
would've
try
been
to
boys
do
in high
something."
school or college at least.
100%. And then my boy Murph was just like, he's getting ready to go to the Marines, and he was like, when I'm back, I want to see a mixtape. And I knew he was just like kind of joking.
Yeah.
But I did it just cause.
You took it
and then,
serious?
yeah, and
That's
then I
awesome.
just dropped the mixtape.
There's one
And then-
Murph at every high school in America. I just want to put that out there.
He wasn't
we
even
didn't
in
have
high
one.
school. He was like 2 years older than me, and I met him when he was
Well,
like
he
a
was in high
freshman
school at some
in
point.
What was the
college.
name of the first mixtape?
I don't know. Something
Brian Oaks
stupid.
Unleashed.
It was something really dumb, dude. Like, I don't know. And then it was only like 6 songs. I didn't even know what mixing and mastering was. I bought like a $20 mic from Best Buy.
Yeah.
My mom had like a walk-in closet where all her clothes were in, so it sounded pretty soundproof. So I recorded it in my mom's closet
Nice.
and dropped it and just put it out there. And then the rest is history. It didn't like blow up. I got no buzz. Everyone was like, damn, this is terrible.
Were people like shitting on you in the
Yeah,
beginning?
they were like, this is awful. And I
Yeah.
was like, damn.
Damn.
And then I just quit all sports. Like, I had like lacrosse going for me in college and stuff, like we talked about in the last.
Let me go all in.
No, yeah, no, literally. Everyone's like, damn, dude, this is pretty bad. And I was like,
You guys
all right,
hate
I'm
this?
going to quit sports and then get good at it now, you
Yeah.
pussies.
Yeah. I'm with
Now
you.
I'm touring the nation. Where you
Yeah.
at, though?
For real.
I mean, that's the same thing you had.
Gang.
Basketball. Dropped it. See you
I
later.
didn't know you dropped basketball.
Well, in college. I played it 1 year in college, and then I was like, I'm doing too many shows. I'm
Nah.
going to get the fuck out
Yeah,
of here.
big problem to have. You know, I'm doing.
I hate that,
First
dude.
world.
Well, it's like,
problems.
I'm probably never going to make money playing basketball.
Yeah.
I'm 5'6".
Statistically,
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
At least you recognize
I was
that.
the only dude on my team under 6 feet.
You were.
I
wish
I
hey,
was
a little
as I like
bit
to say, you
taller.
were self-aware of
Definitely.
that height.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm really short. I'm
Yeah.
getting out of here.
What do you guys think has been one of the biggest struggles you faced as an artist in your own career?
No one. Well, I think it's pretty relatable from everyone because no one understands like the baby step factor it is. Because like you think it's gonna take like a year or two of like grinding really hard, and then the bigger pictures are like we're all pretty close to a decade. I feel like of just like really working our asses off, and we're just now touring the nation. We're just getting our foot in the door, you know. So like it definitely surprised me. I definitely knew it would take a while, but I did not think it would take as long as it's taken.
Do you remember a moment like when you were starting off that you told yourself like this is what I'm gonna do? Or did it just? I know you said you dropped sports, but did it kind of just slowly build, or was there a moment when you were like, I'm just going all in and whatever happens, like I need to do whatever I need to do to make this happen?
Yeah, I think when I graduated school, because that's when like a room in LA opened up for me. Like all the stuff just kind of fell into,
College, when you graduated college, yeah.
All of it just kind of started falling into place, and I was like, am I gonna ignore the signs, or am I gonna like be like, this is supposed to happen, this is why all this is happening, and just roll with it?
That was recently.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like the tables turned for me mentally a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like my freshman year of college, probably.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
20 years.
Yeah, it's
like 20
6
years
ago. 7 years ago?
Yeah, 6 years ago.
Wow.
that's like
That was when I quit basketball. I was just like,
You played
I'm
a
gonna-
full year and then quit, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
if I was like, if I'm gonna give this up, then I have to do this because I worked so hard to get here and like got a scholarship and shit. Like, there's people that should have this spot over me. So if I'm gonna not do it, then I need to go all in on this. So that was kind of when I made that decision.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's such a grind, man. It's just like everything takes so long.
Well, that's like going back to what Ryan was talking about. Is like no one, especially where I was from, like we just would see like these stars and like these famous people. They just would show up. We just see them after they've gone viral.
Yeah,
or
it
see
just
them on
seems
TV.
magic. Like it's magic.
Yeah, it just seems like magic to people. Like people don't understand that there is a growing process that takes people there. Like they have to grind to it to get there. And like from a small town, especially, it's like they've never watched that happen before. So it's like, what the hell are you doing? Like people have never seen that. Like, not to be cliche, but like a star be born. Like it's just like, especially out there, it's like we just see those people. Like those people are other
You get
places.
they
Like,
seem like
get
another
the-
world.
they're
Seems
not
like another
us.
world.
Like
Yeah.
You get the
you
finished
can't
product.
be that. Yeah.
You don't get to see how it got there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's foreign to people. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what do you think is going to happen? You know, that type of thing. But it's like all of those people who you see went through the same thing. Like, honestly,
Like you started rapping and then people were like, bro, you're not as good as Kanye West. How are you going to be like Kanye West?
well,
Well, Kanye West wasn't always good.
Kanye West
had to
isn't on a
start.
$100 USB mic.
Yeah, exactly. In
Currently.
Wyoming. Well,
Yeah.
he went back, though.
The what?
Kanye went to Wyoming, though.
Yeah, he did.
He
It's
did.
crazy.
Was that because of you?
I don't know.
Was he looking
definitely
for?
because
Did
of
you get an
abstract,
invite?
bro.
Did you get an invite for the album release party?
Nah, dude.
No.
It's
Must have got
it's
lost
so
in the mail.
strange because it's so weird because like growing up I was like, oh, I have to. This is why I was on such an internet grind because I was like, the only way for me to get up and like get heard is through the internet. Like I have to grind on YouTube,
Yeah.
Same.
SoundCloud, DatPiff, you know, nowadays Spotify and everything. But like to see Kanye just go out there to do his album release and invite everyone in the world who could have changed my life to exactly where I started
Yeah.
is so strange.
Yeah.
It's like the weirdest thing.
It's pretty amazing though that we live in this world where you can just upload it to the internet. And I mean, look at this. We're in a bedroom right now, and this is a full production. And 5-10 years ago, I would have needed thousands of dollars to even do something like this. At least you had that opportunity, uploading to SoundCloud, uploading to YouTube. That possibility, that 1% chance that song could blow up.
Yeah.
There was that chance to do it, but
Yeah, that's the thing but I know you know this is like, yes, everything's so accessible now, but that also creates a lot of voices,
100%.
and there's a lot more to cut through, which is it's this balance. Of
then it
like,
becomes down to how do you stand out from everybody else?
Yeah,
What do you bring to
exactly.
the table? How can you get your branding or something like that to?
That's why I'm about to get some face tats, boy.
Really?
You dig? I'm about to dread this shit.
Lil Reese.
Wow. What's the first face tat?
That's already
you
a
get?
thing.
What's the first face tat?
You can't even get that.
That already happened.
What are you getting? A little ice cream cone?
Probably
Vanilla boy?
Purpose in Youth.
Mm.
Right on my dome.
on the
Right
forehead.
on my dome.
Man.
I wouldn't
You
mind
can't
it.
even get an ice cream cone because people would just be like, "You trying to be Gucci man?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah.
What do you think has changed the most?
Looks like I'll retire tomorrow.
Definitely. What do you think has changed the most about you within this course of music?
I learned that like probably just persistence and like the perseverance you get and like the understanding of how bad you really want stuff.
Did you learn that from sports too?
To an extent, but like once you're all in on something like as big as this, like this is pretty risky what we do. I know that like I graduated college and stuff, but like I never want to use what I did. So like,
what was your major?
Health and human performance. So I was just like a personal trainer.
Yeah.
So like it's terrible. You have to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I'm gonna wake up at like 8 a.m. but not 5 a.m. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the huge risk factor and like being all in something. I really learned like how much it takes and like how bad you want it.
Yeah.
It kind of just taught me the lessons of like how far I'm willing to go and what I'm willing to do for it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know. It's taught me a lot of self-awareness, I think, with music, because it's like you get to a point. I mean, there's mixtapes I have where I was like, you know, just speaking about all the things I wanted, like where I wanted to be and stuff like that. But as I got older, I was like, I just need to capture where I'm at. Like, what is my life? What is going on? What's going on in my brain? So like, I think creating music like really instilled this self-awareness in me of like how I feel and what I'm going through, and you know, really able to look at myself like through different perspectives, I guess, which is one of the coolest things through music.
Yeah, because you're analyzing what you're going through in your current life and then putting out. And
exactly, and even like you get to really think about what do I want, what do I not want out of life. Like it really, especially with being artists too, like we are able to, like a part of our job is to, you know, really investigate ourselves. Yeah. Like, so it's like a lot of people do these 9-to-5 jobs and they're answering to someone all day. They have all these things to do. They don't get to really think about how they're actually feeling. It's just like a process that they're doing. It's like, oh, I have to make these copies of paper. I have to copy this to this. Like they're thinking about what they're doing so much more than like how they feel about it. So it's like, as an artist, you actually get to really understand yourself, I think.
Well, I think a lot of people we hear music on the radio, and the majority of us are just hearing the song and singing along. And we're singing the lyrics, but we're not actually thinking about this was what this person went through. Yeah. And they literally wrote it to pen and then recorded it.
And that's the hard thing as artists. I don't know if you guys have this happen, but like it's hard for me at a party or something, like while music is playing, to like engage in conversation while a song is playing, because my mind is cueing into what's being said on the song.
Yeah. How many times have I told you that?
Yeah.
And
that's
it's
why
also,
I can't go places.
It's also the thing where like people think that a lot of artists are making music for them because like they can relate to it. They never realize the artist is like making music for themselves as like kind of a venting process, and it just applies to them. We had like a little tweet vent. Yo, me and Luke were going back
Luke
and forth.
be subtweeting everybody.
Dude, Luke wild. Dude, I didn't even notice until we went on tour how wild this man is on Twitter.
I never thought about it.
That shit was crazy.
That's why Twitter's still live, because we'll have
a conversation in real life, and then I'll go on Twitter like hours later and be like, this dude was tweeting about this whole time. I'm like, I know what he was talking about.
But you know, here's the thing, like abstract for me was always like, it is, I talk about this in my new album, where it is very much this vent for me, because I've always been like a very reserved, like I'm very passive, like I'm a very friendly, like chill guy, but when I get on stage, you've seen me go off.
Totally.
You know?
He rants, and the mic, he's like, yo, what are you doing in the back when I'm talking, bro?
Especially when he's got some liquor in him.
Yeah.
It is
in Minnesota.
Like,
Luke was hammering.
Can't wait to get some of these shows.
Hilarious.
Not yet.
He's like, guys.
Fourth dimension, dude.
Time is our friend. Time is not our enemy.
That's so crazy.
I'm just like, huh? Everyone's like, for sure, man. You got any more songs?
Oh, this is when you're on stage?
Yeah.
This is when you're on stage?
Yeah. No, he's ranting.
You're drunk as shit?
I wasn't, so.
Yeah. If it's not a no, it's a yes.
But this is the thing, though. Abstract was always like this switch that I could flick. Like whatever, like I was going through in my life, I was like, I can speak about it here. Like no one's gonna tell me what I can't say. I can vent on all the things that I'm really feeling, and like, you know, this is it's like a superpower for me. It's like I can be as transparent and just get these things off my chest. That's like what I was talking about earlier. That's why I got into music, was like I need to get these things off my chest and somewhere else. So like when I get on stage, when I get in the studio, it's like I do flick a switch, and like abstract is like this more confident, like something that it's this vehicle for me.
Yep.
You know, I don't know.
I get you.
I had a fan question from Marcus. He asked, how did you go about opening and booking shows when you first started? And what was your first show?
So my first show was opening for Henderson, actually, which is a friend of all of ours.
Shout out to Henny.
Yeah,
but
great guy.
That was in like 2011, right?
Yeah.
My senior year.
Yeah, my junior year.
Yeah, it was a long time
That's
ago.
crazy.
Yeah, I was a young buck.
But that all came from because we're from the same area, so we had like a lot of mutual friends on Facebook or whatever. And he just saw like hella people posting about my music all the time, So he hit me up out of nowhere and was like, yo, I just, I seen your shit, like you're grinding and all this stuff. And I was like, 17, 18. And he was like, yo, I'm doing this show. If you want to open, blah, blah, blah. You just got to sell tickets. I'm like, hell yeah. That room is like 200. It's like a 200 cap or something. I sold like 100 and something tickets to it.
That shit was crazy.
And he was just like,
That's
what
awesome.
the fuck? How'd you do this? I'm like, I don't know, bro. I just posted it because that was like high school days where everyone's just like,
Everyone knows each other. You see them
Stoked.
every day. And
they're like, yo, you have a real show? You're a real rapper now? Let's fucking rate.
People were going off too. They were pre-gaming and like 5 or 6 people got caught in their car, like drinking underage, and there was a whole big deal because I remember he didn't give a shit. He was like down doing
I
his
had
thing.
no idea how to perform.
And people were just like,
It
yo,
was
there's
so funny.
mad trouble out there, but it was
I'm
just
just like-
it was stupid.
I'm just like, yo, what's up? I'm rapping. Like,
You know what's the best part about that show? B.O.B. was the hype man up
Yeah,
there.
Bob was on stage.
Let's go, baby.
No beard.
That's awesome.
No beard.
Spin
Thin-ass,
bars.
No
like,
beard, Bobby.
Thin ass,
No
like,
beard,
little
Bobby.
bullshit.
What?
Yeah, thin
Well,
little.
because he's a year younger, so he was a junior in high
yeah.
school.
Okay.
I was talking trash all week.
But yeah, I mean, it was just like,
about to be turning up.
I don't want to say I built the buzz because I didn't know what I was doing, but there was just enough people talking on Facebook where someone, like at that point, Henderson was like kind of a big deal in the area, especially, because like he had a bunch of
He had
videos
songs with
out,
Mike.
like-
He had songs with Mike Stud out.
yeah,
Yeah,
he was like,
yeah.
Which
doing
was
a bunch
still
of
on the
shit.
rise. They were all both, but it was
That one
like
was
And like,
Missy.
low
He's
key,
used
I
to
didn't know
us.
who he was when he hit me up, but I looked him up. I'm like, damn, this dude's like legit as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
this guy's like, he's like basically Drake. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
He's
like
Drake
when I'm like
area.
17, I'm like, this dude's
No,
out of here.
shouts out to Henderson because actually that was the first bigger feature that I got. Like,
Yeah,
it was the
that's
first.
early on.
He was the first person to be like, "Yeah, I'll throw a verse on this." I was
Yeah,
like,
and,
damn,
like-
hell yeah, that was so stoked.
And also, like, he sold a lot of tickets to that show too. Like, it was gonna sell out probably with or without me. Like,
Yeah.
even with a local that would have brought 30 heads.
Yeah.
And there was like mad people that didn't get in and all that shit.
Wow.
So it was dope. And then basically, the promoter at that show was like, "Who the fuck is this dude? How do I not know him? He just sold 100 tickets." You know what I mean? So
Mhm. Yeah.
anytime someone toured in Western Mass, they had me open. I
You
did.
talk about an opportunity in front of you, and then just like hitting it out of the park. That was like the best.
Basically,
case
just
scenario.
capitalized it, and then they just hit me up after the show, like, "Yo, we want you to do this show, this show, this show." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So I was just grinding, moving tickets,
That's awesome.
and then I just kind of took it from there. And then I headlined that same venue like, a year or two later, and I sold that venue out so
Hell
many
yeah.
fucking times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a grind. Like, there's whoever's asking that question, I'm assuming they do music. So wherever you live, there's shows happening. I don't care where you live. There's some type of shows.
I have another approach too.
Go ahead.
Because what we did, because I was just a kid in high school, like
Which is different too, because you're in Wyoming, right? There was
Yeah.
no.
There's probably even
there's a
less
couple
of a
venues.
scene.
There's shout out to Pink Garter. I played there a couple times. But at the time they were just like, "Oh, you're just some high school kids making," and I wasn't making that dope of stuff. Like I was definitely.
Oh no,
learning.
my music was fucking horrible.
That was great. Dude, it was great. Legendary.
That shit was way
You're
worse
bumping
than
that
whatever
shit
you
riding
made. I
around town?
promise. I promise you, my early music is 10 times worse than whatever you guys made at first. I
I thought it
promise,
was great.
Debatable.
bro.
Dude, mine was trash.
Same.
I promise.
Right?
Like you wouldn't.
Hey.
You'd be like, bro, that's not you. Like you'd be like, there's no way that's you.
Well, I knew who Dylan Reese was before he was a singer. Like, I listened to you when you rapped.
Did you know Reese
No, you
McFly
didn't,
though?
bro.
Yes,
did
I
you know?
did.
Did you
How?
know? Hey,
Because of TJ.
did you know Reese McFly though?
No.
Keep
Exactly.
the conversation going.
No.
Exactly.
Was that your fucking rap name?
Yeah, bro.
Reese
I was out here
McFly.
slanging tees with flies on them, making bands in high school.
Dylan sends me his first
I'm in
song
my
ever
locker.
singing. I'm
Who
like,
needs
yo, bro,
t-shirts?
stop right now.
Yeah,
while
he
you're
goes,
ahead."
bro, you're not gonna ever be able to get singing. Just keep rapping.
Oh my
I'm
That's
God.
funny
like,
as shit.
I'm like, I think I got this, bro. I know I suck right now, but I'm gonna get good.
That's
All right.
hilarious. So you saw his transition from like
Saw
trying
the
to learn
jump,
to sing
bro.
to now.
Oh, the
Bro,
jump.
that's crazy.
He saw my transition before I even picked up a mic.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We
That's
grew up 2
crazy.
blocks over from each other.
Well, yeah, but
We
you
took
never
the
really
bus
think,
together in first grade.
Yeah.
When Dylan made the bus,
But
I
you,
whooped his ass.
you hear you sing and you never really think that you were bad because you can literally
Yeah.
become a good singer. For
Thank
the,
you.
Yeah.
But what you-
for the most part.
And the thing is, though, it's like what you're making today, right now, you're gonna think is the best possible thing. But then in a year from now, no matter how good you think it is right now, you can make a vlog of you saying this is the best song I ever recorded. In a year, you'd be like,
Yeah.
this shit is trash.
I
You
think
just
all
keep
my
on, you get
music a
better.
year ago was fucking garbage.
Dude,
Yeah.
I went through that same thing.
Here's the thing though. I know I didn't expand on what I was saying with the
Sorry,
thing.
you
but
were interrupted.
I'll go back to that real quick because it's important for kids to think about if they do want to do shows. So no one really fucked with us when we were growing up. I had my friend Mickey, who was EDM producer, and then my friend Jalaya, who used to go under Euphoria. He's still DJing out in San Fran, and also producing. But anyway, we used to actually rent this fairgrounds building and just throw our own shows. So we probably did that 3
So you
or 4
created the
times.
opportunity.
We made the opportunity.
Smart.
We were like, if you're not going to help us, we did have some help on this thing called Word to the Wise, which was the first one. But after that, it was kind of all us. We were just like, oh, well, we'll just throw our own shows. Like, shout out to Cut Lawette. He used to, bring in his sound system, and then we would just play. We would throw our own shows.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what were we saying on that? Because I wanted to touch on that too. The songs, like, okay, when like you look back at your old music, like I think the important thing is not always to look at like the quality of what you were doing, but if you were really coming from the heart at that point, like you can really tell where you were at, like regardless of the quality or how good the lyrics were or anything. Like instead of like music is so much deeper than a picture, like a picture of where you were at or who you were with. Like with music, you can actually feel it. You can be like, I know exactly what I was going through right there. So it's this crazy like diary of my. I can look at like the last 6 years of my life, 7 years, and like I can listen to songs and be like, I can feel exactly how it was right there.
I mean, I can listen to songs that clearly I didn't make, and I can picture where I was in high school. Or just certain things that I was going through in my life. It's crazy because you won't hear a song there was a song we just listened to like in the last 24 hours, and it came on and I didn't even miss it being. I'm sitting there thinking, man, I haven't heard this song in 6 years, and I still remember the lyrics.
It was DY.
Oh yeah, it was.
DY,
yeah, DY.
dude.
2,000
DY.
miles.
David Morris.
Yeah,
It's a banger, dude.
yeah.
Fire.
Anyways,
He
your
was
answer.
awesome.
I'm more on Luke's train where we would just kind of make the opportunities happen. I was always really good at finding kids who could sell like 20, 30 tickets and just getting them to do the shows because, we were not getting any place in high school. And we would have to do our own shows because no one let us open. And then once I started being able to pull some tickets, I got some opportunities. Linked with Jonas, we threw like a huge show in my hometown, and that's when my hometown buzz, like 4 years later, finally started coming.
I remember when you posted that flyer.
And then, like, bro, that was a crazy. There was like kids pissing on speakers. It was like the craziest shit. I was crowd surfing. Haven't crowd surfed since that show. Crowd surfed that show.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Getting
And
back
then,
tomorrow night, I'll tell you that.
yeah, 100%.
LA.
100%. But
Do it.
yeah. So the buzz came from that because it was like this crazy show that kids were getting kicked out of. Kids pissed on a speaker, like all this crazy shit. And then after that, I could pull tickets because people would just want to come party on the weekends, and I'd make sure I got shows on the weekends, and then it would all kind of just line up. But
Awesome.
the way that we really got started was just like C-Trucks in Arizona. I found them, then we talked, and then when they had shows, I would come help them open. They would come help me open, and we made this like openers network where if people were just like available that night, they'd pull them out there to do a song, and they'd be like, "You got me, the next one you got." You know what I'm saying?
It's the best thing. Collaborate with each other, trying to build something.
Yeah.
And so for like a year, me and those kids literally did like 20 shows together. And because we were all trying to, I would have stuff in my hometown, they would have stuff in their hometown. There'd be stuff that stayed over, we could still sell tickets, and we would just keep bouncing.
Yeah,
because
they were close enough where you could just take a ride.
Yeah, everything was in like an hour in like a triangle.
Yeah,
their
that's
hometown,
dope.
my homtown, and
that's
then the
genius.
Silver Spring in Maryland.
It's like best case scenario.
That's tight.
Yeah.
And we just made it. We went ham.
Was there a favorite show for any of you leading up to the virtual reality that you guys have ever either
Like
opened
before
or
his tour?
headlined or before the tour?
Yeah.
What's the one favorite show?
Oh, Ryan seems excited about
bro.
that.
I got a good one,
I
too.
co-headlined like 1,200 people at Texas Tech University, and it was like,
Wow,
that shit was
1,200 people, bro.
Damn.
bro. I got like A-list celebrity treatment. Like any food I wanted that whole weekend was catered to me. I had like my own dressing room, like all that crazy shit. It was like my first time getting flown out somewhere.
Yeah.
And I still had like terrible music.
Who
like,
was it?
this
Who's
like
the co-headliner with?
Duro, the dude who made the ice cream paint job song.
That's
awesome.
so fucking random.
I was opening for him, and everyone was fucking with me so hard for
Wow.
no reason. Because like Duro, his hometown was whatever Texas Tech part of Texas Tech is in.
Yeah.
That was his hometown. So like all the people clearly came for Duro, but like
They're like, just let this guy spit. Then the big
How the
boys
hell
up.
did they book you to do that?
I don't know. They just found me.
That's awesome.
You're like,
you get an email?
Ryan Oaks, rapper,
Yeah.
co-headliner,
Yeah,
get him
no,
in here.
so- Someone,
Did
like,
you get like
Snapchat
did you get like
messaged
an
me.
email or something?
Someone like hit me up on Snap and was like, "You pulling up to the show? We'll get you out here." And I was like, "Yeah." And then I had an exam. It was on they flew me in on a Thursday, but I had an exam on Friday, and I literally told my professor that I don't remember who it was. Someone passed in my family because like I had been missing so much class for shows, dude,
Fucked up.
that they were
Bro.
like, "Yo, if you miss class, we're just failing you." Because I didn't have like a tour, but like there was this one spring where I randomly got like 25 shows, and I
Wow.
just didn't go to class. And I just kept being like, "Yo, I do the music thing," and they were like, "Didn't get
and
it."
then
So,
you pulled the last red card.
bro, I pulled the red card.
Jeez.
So yeah,
What if he
my
watches
my
this? He's
uncle
gonna be
got
like
hit by
that
a
kid.
train. I gotta leave.
He's like, another relative? What is in your genetics,
I'm
my
like,
friend?
dude, who's even at your house?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
You better raise your damn
How many
self.
cousins do you have?
Came back, failed the fuck out of that test when I took it, for sure.
Oh, that's great. What do you guys got?
I'd say when Jonas and I went overseas, Hamburg.
So fire.
Was so
Anywhere in
dope.
Europe, you could have said any city, and
Yeah,
I would
that's crazy.
imagine
Dude.
that's so crazy.
Hamburg was crazy. We had
Yeah.
like 250 people. And it was in this old. So basically, it was this old, huge. It looks like a castle, but it was actually used as like an anti-aircraft.
Yeah.
Like during the war or whatever. So like it's actually there's a music school inside it, and then there's a huge venue. Actually, AWOL Nation was playing at it, and then we played the smaller room. So actually, we ended up playing at 3 of the same venues that AWOL Nation was playing at, like back to back to back. Super funny. Like we were actually talking about him, and we found out later that AWOL Nation was like standing right behind us when we were talking about them. The guy was like, "Oh yeah, that
They're
was
each
him."
shop
We were
in,
like-
and you have no idea.
we were like, I feel so bad because he was just sitting right there. We're like talking about them, like not bad stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
honestly, it's like I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People lay low, but that show was crazy. That was such a cool.
It's crazy because that's so far from home, too. Like,
Yeah,
that's
but that's
We
like,
even talked about it on
crazy.
the podcast, like 6,000 miles from home. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
but that's like actually my second at the time was my second biggest city that was listening on Spotify is Hamburg,
Wow.
and then Munich is right behind.
and
it.
they all pulled up.
Yeah, dude.
So
I
now we
had
know
so
kids
many
in
big-
Germany pull up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, Germany was
Huh.
crazy. Like
Huh.
Germany was
I
wild.
think all Europe just loves American music.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to go there because I feel like no matter what, people are going to come. Even if they have no idea who you are. They just want to hear like an American dude just
Yeah.
rap.
They're like, guys from America?
He's
How
a
much
rapper?
are tickets?
Yeah, give me the
I'll
fucking
be there.
tickets.
But no, all,
I'm
like
getting
a lot
off
of these
work
people,
now.
They were like people have been listening.
Matter
for
of
like,
fact, I'll quit my job.
I've had people do that. I've dead ass had people do that.
Well, you're a psycho.
Me?
Well, they are. That's what I meant. Sorry.
But there were people
fine.
who like listened for like 4 or 5 years, and they were just like to hear that them like relate heavily to stuff that I made like so far from where they're from. It's
Yeah.
just the craziest.
It's fire.
Yeah.
thing. It's so weird.
Favorite show, Dylan? I'm curious to hear this one.
There's probably 2 different ones, like for different reasons. One was my first headlining show back home. One,
What year? 2013?
yeah, 2013, sold out.
Still hype man, by the way, guys. I was still hype man in that.
Beardless
day.
Bobby, though?
Yeah, I had a
Yeah,
button up.
he didn't last too long after that.
Button up.
But I remember because like I was always opening, so I was like hustling mad hard to sell tickets, and I would just like do my set and leave. Like there would be no like I didn't get paid. There was nothing. You know what I mean? I remember like because I booked the whole thing by myself. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just like, yeah, man, whatever you say, that's cool. That's the deal. Sure. And they surprisingly didn't fuck me over. So I remember like thinking about what the deal is like before the show. Like on my way to the show, I'm like calculating. I'm like, yo, I'm about to make mad money. I was like, I think I'm a rapper. Like this was so crazy. But besides that, it was like having the moment on stage where like there's just so many people. Even though it was my hometown, like most of it was like my homies and shit. But everyone was like singing every word, and it was just like super emotional. Like it was like I think I can actually like do this. Like people like me.
awesome.
You know what I mean?
That's super.
And then the other one was when I opened for John Bellion because he's like my
Oh,
favorite
that
artist.
Hell yeah.
That was
Crazy.
that was his first show on his first tour.
What?
I was the first person to open for John Bellion.
That's so.
One of the
dope.
only people because after that
He sold everything out by himself.
after that tour there was no local openers anywhere
Yeah.
because it was just like oh I'm gonna play 1,200
And we
kids.
also went to his
Belly.
first show ever at SOB's New York City.
his first show that he ever performed at in his life.
Crazy.
Me and Bob were there in New York
Yep.
because that's how much like we loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We drove out there and then he played a festival in London with Kanye and Pharrell. That was his second time on stage.
Damn.
And then his third time
No
on
big
stage.
deal, right?
Yeah.
And then his third time on stage was in Boston when I opened.
Damn.
And I was like, so you've only been on stage one time since I saw you last time? How was Kanye and Pharrell? you jackass.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'll tell you what. One thing I always credit Dylan for is he put me onto a lot of artists back in like 2013, 2014. He showed me like Logic, John Bellion, all these artists, and he's like, these dudes are gonna be big. And now I see where they're at today. I'm like, yo, he didn't miss with predicting.
Frank, too.
Yeah.
Who?
Frank Ocean.
Yep. I mean,
2012.
there was a lot of
Bob
artists.
doesn't remember that.
I was same thing. I was like, these dudes are the fucking real deal.
Yeah.
Like I'm such a big.
Yeah. Prediction, right?
Oh.
Virtual reality tour with sounds by Code Break. Code Break, wish you were here.
Shout out, Cody.
22
Shout out,
cities.
Cody.
First nationwide tour for all of you, which
Yep.
is pretty dope. So you guys all teamed up.
I wouldn't say it's pretty dope. I would say
It's
it's
extreme.
fucking monumental.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a
How?
crazy. Let's have
It's
a mo-
literally
let's,
okay. It's unheard of.
Let's have a moment of silence.
No
for it.
one does this shit.
No, I don't think
Just
that.
so everyone's aware.
I've seen co-headlining, but I've never seen 3 guys Three Stooges.
Also, with no agent or label or funding.
Shout out to Matt Keen.
We out of pocketed it.
Matt Keen.
You know what I'm saying?
Puppet show.
But yeah, shout out to Matt for.
Shout out to everyone involved who was just down for the cause too. Because
I was there for 4 shows.
People really.
The bearded guy. I kicked it off the right way.
I don't want to say it was because it's still going, but especially the first leg, it was just like. First leg was 16 shows. The second leg is 6 shows, so it's like kind of a different. Like we went through the fucking ringer on the first one.
Everything's a breeze. Man.
But it was like
fire.
It was such a team effort, and it was so cool because like every piece is so like pivotal. You know what I mean? Like not like outside of us too. Like there's so many people that just pulled up to a show, cop tickets, or like. Dudes that opened and killed it, or Ryan Pod tour managing, or like anybody like that's involved. It was like
it's a win-win for everybody.
We need every piece of it because it's like this is a self.
Were you guys
self-done thing?
What were you most nervous about walking into the tour? Was there anything that was in your mind like, damn, I hope this doesn't happen? Or obviously there's a lot of excitement. It's your first nationwide tour, but what were you scared for?
I was most nervous about hanging out with Ryan Oakes for that long.
Dude, I was nervous about hanging out with myself that long.
Because I don't like Ryan Oakes like that. Like he's fine, but it's like I don't like him. Like
I love when they're like flaring on camera. This is great. keep talking trash about each other. I love it.
Hilarious.
No, I actually the way that like I feel like we all kind of went about it too was just to not set any expectations. Like in my head, it was super crazy that we even had like a lot of shows that had triple-digit ticket sales because I was just like, there's going to be 10 kids at every show, you know, which I totally underestimated. If there was some shows where there's 10 kids, you can't really expect more than that.
New Hampshire was popping, I thought. I thought that was going to be like 5 people, and there was, I think, 80 tickets?
Which one?
New Hampshire.
Yeah. It was like...
There was over 100 ticket sales.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought that was literally going to be a wash-up, and it was popping.
Yeah. So, like, we break 10 tickets. I'm like, bet. Yeah. Expectations exceeded.
Bet 10 people.
10 people. I like it.
Yeah.
No, but it's like it's our first time in all these places outside of like me in the Northeast and like you guys in a couple spots like Colorado and Virginia and shit like that.
Yeah.
But you pull up to Des Moines, Iowa, or Dallas, or fucking St. Louis, and we're just like, we've never been here in our life. Like, there's no good reason for someone to come to our show.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah. People come out.
You know what I'm saying? But like, people came.
Yeah. That's so dope.
Sometimes it was a handful. Sometimes it was 100 kids going fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And we're just like, how'd this happen?
Yeah.
Sick.
Detroit was crazy.
Detroit was bonkers.
Minneapolis, Detroit, Springfield, Boston,
Philly.
Crazy Philly.
So, I want you to think about it. We're going to do your favorite show, and then we're going to do your worst show. But I want you to all say it at the same time because I don't want any bias. So,
give me a second.
Only one, though, right?
Only one show.
All the shows
favorite
were
show.
Fun. Like,
Yeah.
Favorite show, think about it for a second. And then when you're good, we'll count it down.
Okay. It's going to be tomorrow, but I'll give my second.
No, for the first leg.
Okay.
We're talking first leg. For first 16 shows.
So
I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then say it.
This is the
favorite show.
Philly.
Ready?
Detroit.
Favorite show. 1, 2, 3.
Philly.
Detroit. Yeah.
Wow. Philly and Detroit.
Detroit too.
Well, it's
Philly?
only because I saw the growth. Because I was in Philly like 2 months before that.
Oh, okay.
And I was opening for like this guy named Ryan Caraveo, and I don't think I had more than like 3 fans at that one. And then Philly, we all just had a ton of it. Like people were screaming every word. Like that was the first
we all
show.
had hella people.
Yeah, that was the first show that like I saw people like a crowd just screaming every word to my music, and I was just like, holy shit! Like,
That's more than 10 people. Let's go.
I was here 2 months ago, and there was one kid just like.
He was
I was like rocking out for my set, and then we sold more shows at that Philly show than my first one by like a landslide.
That's awesome.
The second Philly show, so it was like cool to see the growth, but it's pretty close with Detroit because Detroit was just like out of control.
So why do you guys say Detroit then?
So my main Rose, who's done like we've never met. We've done like songs for like 4 to 5 years, and we have like tens of millions of views and all this stuff, and we've like. Of course, like grown a lot together.
Yeah.
But we've
you guys ever FaceTime at all? No. So it's all just been through the internet.
All through the internet.
That's
we've like talked
on
on
Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
You guys, you artists love Facebook Messenger. Dylan's a big Facebook Messenger guy.
Facebook Messenger is actually like my team because all my teams are overseas.
It's the overseas people that do the Facebook message.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We constantly have our like team group chat going like all the time. But yeah, like with Rose, like it was crazy. Like we have the song "I Do This" that's very much like about his family and everything, and his kids were running around the stage. Like
wow,
just such a moment,
cool.
such a cool moment. Yeah. Like it was really cool. And then also everyone just went crazy.
So that show was crazy.
That was awesome.
I said Detroit because the other ones that were really good.
Wait, I was also on the marquee.
Oh yeah, you got
Oh.
the cool ass letters.
You made it to the top.
Yeah, he was at the top.
That's pretty
He just
dope.
said abstract.
And we were like, oh,
I
Ryan,
remember
we're
seeing
not
that
playing.
picture.
The other ones that were nuts, like really nuts,
Mm.
like Boston, Greenfield, New York.
That's
Philly.
because I was there, but anyway.
No,
definitely.
I've already played those, and I knew they were going to be crazy.
Yeah, it made
Yeah.
sense.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
Ryan kept coming to me after those first few, because those were the first ones. He's like, bro, how are you doing this? I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm just telling you. I know the openers we got.
Yeah.
I know the venue. I know the deal here. I know I have fans here. They're going to be crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, I walked
And
into
it's
those.
just the markets.
I
like
walked
you
into
have
those
that.
super confident. Like, I
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
those fucking so many times. So those were always awesome. I get to see my homies, my family, blah, blah, blah. Fuck them. No, I'm just kidding. But Detroit was dope because I didn't have any expectations for that. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But it was just nuts.
Not to
Yeah.
mention probably the coolest venue we played at so far.
Yeah,
That venue was
Yeah.
really dope.
Mm.
that was beautiful. Yeah.
Mm.
It was just, like, really unexpected and, like, a pleasant surprise.
Mm.
And there's other ones like that, like we said, but Detroit was, like, the most crazy, I think.
For sure.
Like, when we played the record with all of us, virtual reality,
Yeah.
that shit was...
Bro, I thought I was gonna do a backflip. I don't even know how to do a backflip.
Bro, there was mad random dudes just on stage going crazy.
Was that the night you
With,
guys
like-
was that the night MTV dude?
Yes.
Yes.
That
Oh,
was
that's
the
why
night
it's
that's
epic. What was his name?
Tyler?
Shout out to Tyler.
Shout out to Tyler. He's
Shout out
dope.
to Tyler
Tyler.
one time.
Dude,
Team
he's
Mom,
so cool.
Team
He
Mom
just
Tyler.
shared my new song. And I was like, yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember seeing when you guys posted on your Instagram story, and I'm like, how the fuck is this happening?
Well,
right now?
It just made no.
Apparently, he's a fan of Luke shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And he
amazing.
He's been a
pulled
fan
up-
for like 2 years.
Did
out
you
of
know he
nowhere.
was pulling up?
Yeah, I talked to
okay.
him. Yeah.
He told us in the van, and we were like, hey, man, we don't know who that is. And then he showed me a photo. I was like, that's the dude from Team Mom. It's my boy.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know him.
Yeah.
But then we hung out with him all night, and he's hella
Now
cool.
we're boys.
Yeah.
He's super
Now
dope.
that kid's cool. as
Now we're
shit.
boys.
Yeah. That kid is so cool.
Yeah.
Now you have somebody to hit up when you go out to Detroit.
Yeah.
True.
Let's do worst show. Think about it for a second. And I'm sorry if you listen.
I
to
know,
Canada
I know.
Cities.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
This is out of the first 16 shows. You're good. You're good. What about you? Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
St.
Greenfield.
Louis. Yeah.
Whoa.
Did you say Greenfield?
Whoa.
But that was because
What'd
he
you
had
say?
fucking
You
food
said,
Dude,
you
poisoning.
said
I got-
St. Louis?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
yeah.
got killed by a
Okay.
chicken Caesar in
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
Damn.
That sucks 'cause that was definitely one of the best shows.
It was a dope show. Like, I had a blast.
I
I remember how
can't
bad I
even
felt
get
for
through
Luke.
my
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Luke was like, yo.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of Greenfield,
I can't come
bro,
out for virtual
you left
reality.
the plaque. I got you in
Dude,
the
I was
van.
I know.
I told
I-
Ryan Pott, I said, bro, just keep it because clearly this was not
No,
a top,
I
not
want
a
the
top
plaque.
priority.
No, listen. We had so much shit because I'm a fucking shopping addict that I literally didn't
This
have
guy
time
copped Supreme and put it in his bag before he put your fucking plaque
Unreal.
that had sentimental value.
Yeah.
Bob went out of his way
Unreal.
to do something nice.
bro.
For struggling artists.
Bro,
And you just fucking leave it in a van that we don't own. You
I fucked up.
should be ashamed of yourself.
Unbelievable. You took the words out of my mouth.
Thank
Dude,
you.
I fucked up.
So wait, you both said St. Louis?
Yeah.
Why St. Louis?
Do you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
I had
Why is that funny?
You're acting like I did some fuck shit.
No, go ahead.
I had some big fans come through.
no,
Like, so
Luke-
Those 4.
When we have the smaller shows, they're honestly always Luke's fans. Too.
It's like, all right, Luke brought 7 people.
we brought
Ryan
0.
brought 1. I brought 1.
Yeah. No, but it was
Sick.
St. Louis because like the opener was really good. Like he was a great opener.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
But he
fire.
was some kid that was from like 4 hours away. He was
Oh,
like,
no
so
one
he-
knew.
yeah,
No, yeah.
and he couldn't bring anyone out, and we already knew it was going to be a struggle market.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Something stressful happened to me the night before at the show or something where I was already stressed out, and then hearing that just like fucking
The
kicked me
night
in the
before
nuts.
was Minneapolis? Or no, I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyways,
whatever happened the night before, I was kind of blown that day, and I was like, man, I hope the show tonight's good. And then the kid was like, yeah, I'm just from 4 hours away. I don't know if anyone's coming. And I was like, who the fuck put you on the show?
Probably not.
yeah,
Great. He was great, though. Like, I
yeah.
wish he had fans because he was fired.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's what he said. He said that I would have done better for Chicago. And that's what he.
That's
had
right.
told
And then I
us.
was like,
What's tough-
it was
well,
Chicago
see,
the day before.
What's
Gotcha.
tough about those markets is when you guys are coming from the Northeast, New York, Boston, all these shows are drivable. They're like 2.5, 3 hours. But then you get out to the Midwest like that,
Yeah, it's a kid.
dude, Chicago to St. Louis. I mean, the next biggest market is 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that kid probably lives in the middle of nowhere and has to drive to either Chicago or St. Louis to get on a show, and
Yeah.
then he's not selling anyway. He's probably just buying out tickets just
Yeah.
to get his opportunity.
So we at the Chicago show, there was just a lot of complications with like the venue and stuff. and I was just like super annoyed with it.
Yeah, actually, that was the worst show.
And it was
That was a pop-up event, right?
I'm bugging.
Bro, I don't know what the fuck that.
I thought you guys were playing Lollapalooza, no?
That 48-hour time span was
no,
like.
that shit fucked us up though.
I mean,
well,
yeah,
because
of course.
HVAC
Ticket
messed up,
sales.
dude. HVAC would have been perfect.
Bro, I played HVAC and they're great. I'm
Yeah.
so sad that felt.
So, anyways,
Wait,
Chicago.
I want to finish mine.
Sorry, go ahead.
You wait, Dylan.
Okay,
Dude.
I'm sorry.
All right. No, but
mine.
for real, there was just terrible complications with Chicago, and I just didn't like it. It was the first show that I actually felt like discouraged on the whole tour, so it was just like
Wow.
kind of a low blow.
Wow.
And then I went to St. Louis, and I was like, all right, we got the opener. We have an opener for the show. Like, hopefully he knows some people. We'll get the momentum back, because
Yeah.
I was like, my ego was flying through the roof
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point on tour, because like I only had expected 10 kids to beat each show. And then the opener situation happened, and then no one came. Really, it was like 6 kids. And then I was just like, is this how the rest of the tour is going to be? I'm fucking panicking.
Yeah.
And then it was not how the rest of the tour was, but it was just terrible.
I think that's the toughest part, obviously, for you guys who would know, but when you're in the beginning stages, you're going to these random shows, and you don't know if anybody's going to show up, but the thing is, you almost have to treat it as if – that's what you've been really good at, of course, because I've seen his career, but even for those 5 or 6 people in there, you have to literally go ham
We did-
just
we
to give
do
them the
got
best
it,
show
for sure,
possible
yeah.
because you want them to come back the next show, and then
With
also
the
you
squad.
don't know who they are.
Yeah.
One person could be the next biggest opportunity for you, and
Yeah,
you
exactly,
have to just
yeah.
show up. It's like a mental thing.
Like, that's the thing, though. That one dude, like, put that picture up on Instagram. He was like, it was an amazing night. Because, like,
Yeah.
you got to give him – I always give the same show. If it's
Yeah.
200 people,
Yeah.
if it's
You have to.
6 people, you know, you got to do that. Because the people who do come for it, like, they came to see it. Like,
Yeah.
they're as stoked as anyone would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
for you to be there.
Yeah.
And you got to give them your all. You know?
Yep. And I'm switching my answer to Chicago. One was because of that reason. Because, like you said, I think I've always done a good job at that. Like,
You've done a very good job. I've
Now-
seen this dude in front of some crowds.
some
and-
weird crowds.
Yeah.
But you
Really?
just go ham, dude. Like, it is what it is. If you make those 10 people happy, they'll come back, you know? And,
Yeah.
like, they have. So,
And it's also word of mouth, too. They can be like,
Yeah,
"Yo,
they
it
can
was
bring like
awesome."
4 friends and be
Yeah.
like, yo, you don't know this kid yet?
yeah,
Yeah.
because
That fucking
you don't
show.
want to be like in 2 years from now, like, I'm going to blow the fuck up, obviously, because I'm fucking nasty. But I'm going to
Same.
blow up, and then I don't want there to be 5 kids from, you know, Pittsburgh with a sour taste in their mouth. Like, I saw that kid 2 years ago. He was fucking trash.
Yeah.
He didn't care about his set.
Yeah.
You know, like, all this.
Well, that's the worst. The people that literally address, they're like, yeah, there's 5 people here.
But I
This
think
shit sucks.
Chicago
It's like,
I-
it's ass.
didn't do a good job of, like, staying level-headed and, like, putting on a good set because I was so fucking frustrated
Yeah.
with the venue and just the circumstances of that show because I know that Chicago was supposed to be good for us.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Brian and I were talking about this. Like, we both have 8,000 listeners. Chicago's like my second
Yeah.
biggest
I'm at like
city.
10 now, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my second one too.
Yeah, and it's like that shouldn't have been what
Totally.
it was.
That
But
was. I
still-
thought that was going to be a top 3
Here's
show.
the thing, like a lot of what happened with that show was just completely out of our hands.
Yeah.
Because of the position we're in. Like, we don't have an agent, so like we're not getting guarantees at venues. AKA, the venue can kind of pull out whenever the hell they want
Yeah.
because they haven't agreed to pay us any amount of money until people come in the door.
Yeah.
So if the show didn't happen yet, they can just go, hey, guess what? We're not doing the show anymore. And then it's like, oh.
So that was a last minute
It's like
save.
we're playing this
And
out
that,
3
and
months
that
ago.
was like, yeah, like they canceled it the day the tickets announced. So there was people like trying to buy tickets that day. And they're like, where's the Chicago link? They're like, oh, they just canceled it because they're idiots. We're working on
And
it.
it looks you guys, it makes you look
Makes
bad.
us look bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got quote unquote venue the week before, like a week and a half before the tour kicked off. So we're like, fuck it, we're gonna try to do this last minute. You know what I mean? It was like kind of unrisky financially, like with the deal they gave us. So it was like, cool, let's do it. We'll pull up. We'll see what happens. The place isn't even in fucking Chicago. Place was not a venue. It was just a room with a fucking stage the size of this table.
There's
The
no sign.
sound guy that we quote unquote had to hire as a part of the contract or whatever was like blacked out drunk and had
Yeah.
no idea how to do sound.
It was just like a shit show,
And
man.
Cody
And,
could have
like,
done all of it. Like, he had
Yeah.
already set it up. Like, he set it up like perfect.
And
And
they're
she
like,
came
"No,
over,
we got the
turned
sound
like
There was just
one knob like this much. She's like, I'm the sound.
it
engineer."
was just, you know, dozens of things gone wrong, and like all of it was really out of our control. So it was just annoying because I thought it was gonna be good, and it just wasn't because of the circumstances. It was last minute, venue sucked, blah blah blah, and like there's some people that came out that have been waiting to see me for like fucking years. Like this girl Kayla, especially, who's like literally one of my first fans ever, like outside of like homies that I know personally. Like she was listening to me in 2012, and this is the first time I met her. And I'm just like, this sucks that like
This is the
this is
the
how
time
she
that we
sees me
met
the
yeah.
first time,
Yeah.
and it's like stuff like that just gets me frustrated. So it's like I was in the moment and I was just like annoyed, and I can tell that it showed like while I was on stage. So it's like I just hated it. Like it just made me upset. I like totally regret it the next day, and I like Snapchatted the girl. I was like, yo, I'm sorry. Like that was such a bad set. Like I handled that wrong, the whole thing. Like I gave her free merch and shit, but.
That's dope.
Yeah,
it's just a lesson learned. You'd rather learn that lesson on a small scale.
It sucks because like you want to perform for people that want to see you do well, and then it's like there's so many things that you can't control.
Yeah.
That gets you mad, and then you do a bad. Like she's like, no, I had a good time. Like I feel like everyone still had a good time.
Yeah. I went
like,
to
for
Chicago
people that care.
show,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it was fine, but it was just like internal things.
I hate when he calls things fine. It's fine.
No, like it was. It was fine.
I know,
like it was fine. Like there was no real problems. It was just like all the internal stuff that we knew was going on, and like what that show could have been, just got me fucking pissed that day. So
yeah,
I definitely changed my answer to Chicago.
Yeah, I want to speak on mine too because I did have a lot of really good fans like come out for Greenfield. Like everyone was singing, everyone had their lights out for like everyone was singing the words back to me, and it was amazing.
Yeah, no, your set was lit.
No, it was fun, but like I was just dead. I had
There's nothing worse when you're sick and you have to do something like that.
Yeah. So I got food poisoning the day before Greenfield, so I was just dead. But like there was these 7 kids, these friends who all came out, and they reminded me of like the group of kids I grew up with. Yeah. They were so stoked. I was like, this is so cool. Like these kids like relate to it because like you're me. Like you guys are you know the crew that I grew up with. It was just so cool to talk to them and like have people, and that's like no matter how many people are there at the end of the night, like talking to people like that makes it all worth it. Like,
even in New York City, there was people waiting for you before when you guys came back from the hotel. There was like 3 kids waiting there, and I took a picture of you guys and with the mom.
And they couldn't get in though.
Because you're too young.
They couldn't get in because they were too young.
So they came to take the picture and then leave.
It sucked, but they came to Stanhope though. Shout out to homies.
Still, they're driving around. They went from New York City down to.
They were kind of on the. Well, I think it's like.
In between.
I think he was staying with his mom at that point, the kid, and then he brought a friend or 2 friends. I think it was 1 friend. But then he was staying with his dad, I believe, which was closer to Stanhope.
I got you.
So it worked out. But like things like that, like I can't control. Like like I talked to the front person. I was like, "Yo, just let these kids in." Like they were like, "Oh, well, you have to do that."
Well, that woman, like the same thing, woman that was working door was not friendly.
No, she was like,
friendly.
"Oh, you should have told us weeks ago."
She didn't.
I was like, you want to tell me weeks ago? Tell you weeks ago that I have 2 17-year-olds coming who are going to be 18 in a month? Like, come on, dude.
Fortunately, there are some people that just don't care. They're just there to collect that check, and they're just going to buy
Minneapolis. Shout out to Minneapolis. The venue, it said 18 plus on the show, and I had like hella kids that were about to be 18. And they were like, why would we care? Let them in. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's go. Yeah,
we don't care.
I love people
that party.
On the,
that's what I'm saying.
On the black and white, 18 plus, stay up, let them in.
Yeah, they were just like,
need the ticket
put X's on their hands. Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, it was dope.
I had another fan question from Anna. She and it might kind of go back towards like your first shows or one of your favorite shows, but we'll still run with it. Has there been a city or show that inspired you to write a song or that inspired you as an artist?
I have a funny
this doesn't have to be this virtual. It doesn't have to be a virtual reality tour. It could just be in general. From whether I know you've done some tour managing stuff. I don't know whatever it could be. Has there been a city that's inspired you to write a song, or just as an artist, like damn, this is actually happening?
Go ahead, Luke.
It's not inspirational. You know, Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
The song Freedom. I went home just to open.
That's like your favorite song.
I love to play.
You always talk about that song.
I went home just to open up a show. Little liquor in me. I was on a roll. Crew with me, supposed to get him in for free. Bouncing with the tickets, didn't know me. Snapped on him like old Dex on 5-0 grinds. Mm-hmm. Second that, I realized how much of the ego blinds.
You got a flex bomb or no?
Bars.
Bomb.
But basically, that was actually, I was opening for some homies back home in Jackson, and we were playing at Pink Garter, and the bouncer didn't want to let me in. I was like, yo, I'm opening. Like, she was like, I need to see texts of you like talking to this guy. I'm like, I'm one of the only artists to come out of this freaking town. Like, chill. And so that was just like, it wasn't inspirational for me, but it gave me like this perspective to look at myself, to be like, yo, like I need to check my ego. Like, it's like I haven't performed at the Garter too much and stuff like that. So it was just more of like a realization for me through that. Was like, at the time I was pissed. I was like, yo, like going off and stuff. But it gave me some perspective to be like, you gotta chill your ego out here and there. So I wouldn't say it's so much inspirational, like, yo, this is happening, but like you were talking about, but it's something that like inspired me to kind of look at myself at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ryan, anything?
Not a song in particular. Like, I've never written a song about a show, but like the inspiration you get from like having physical kids come out. Like, this whole tour is pretty much feeling the inspiration from my like first album, because I haven't really even made a project yet besides like EPs. So like finally having the tangibility of not thinking you're this crazy kid who sees the numbers rise on the internet and seeing like physicality to it and having like real people be there screaming your words, like that inspired me a lot. And I was like, damn, I need to give the people what they want, because everyone's been demanding the album. And I just feel like I put it off for so long because I was like, I don't want to put an album out if no one's listening. But like,
you're just seeing numbers and you're not.
Yeah.
There's no
you
actual
feel.
faces.
I seriously started to feel crazy because like there's no validation to anything you're doing until you see it in person.
Yeah.
No, so I was like,
tweets, the DMs, it doesn't really.
Yeah.
It's like cool, but at the same time, you need to see like the emotion of somebody.
Yeah, and then the kids were in the crowds for a majority of the show screaming words, so it's just like they're listening. So I'll give them what they want. You know.
It is like this cold way of like getting validation. You're like, oh, I'm getting like these tweets from people, but it's not like physical. I had that for a long time too. Like when I took, I wasn't doing shows at the time, so it wasn't like physical to me. It was like, okay, this is cool. Like people are DMing me, but it's so cold. It's a computer. It's in your hands. It's like you know that these are people, but it's not like, it's not real. It's this weird. It does cause you to kind of go crazy. It's like I see all this love and all these comments, but like I don't feel that in life. It's not like I walk outside and people are like, "Oh, let me get your picture," or shit like that. But like these people really do care. Like to see them come out and like I was talking about, like you were talking about, like talk to them and shake hands and hear their stories about how they love their music and why and what they've been through. Is like it just really creates like this. It just feels good. It makes it all real.
Definitely.
That's all Dylan Reese has.
Definitely.
Yeah, I just feel like I played shows for so long and like done that whole thing that I think it's like kind of the opposite of you guys. Like that's why I think when you just said before earlier, they were like, I just committed to this recently. When like I would have never thought that, because you've been doing well, like online for a while. Like we've known each other for years at this point.
Yeah.
And to think that like you weren't like, oh yeah, I'm doing this full time, I would have never guessed that.
I essentially just didn't do it full time until I could do it full time.
Right. Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
But I think the validation thing was given to me like earlier because I was doing so many shows and like I was selling out shows back home 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like I've seen that part of it and I'm just like, damn, I could fucking do this. Like there's people. So I was lucky enough to get that feeling like early. Yeah. And I still definitely felt it even more on this tour. Yeah. Especially because they're in places that I don't personally know people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of my good shows were my friends and like someone that I met at a different show or like got from opening from someone else. So like I knew they were a person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I saw them and shook their hand and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But like this one is a lot of people that I never got to meet, or even maybe someone that's listened to you before and heard my shit 2 years ago when we did that record, or like vice versa. Like we're all like trading fans on this, which is tight. Like there's so many kids that are like, so many kids that are like, yeah, bro, I didn't know the fuck you were. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, it's all good, bro. I don't expect. Like, he's like,
I actually rather that.
When
brand new.
When Abstract announced the tour, like I've been listening to your shit all month. Like you're fire, bro. Like you're one of my new favorite artists. I'm like, well, that's the point of this. So fire.
Well, that's what's awesome is that we all bring something different, like a different style to the table, and we've been through different things, but we're all similar mindset. So it's like people, will come from maybe one of us, but if they stay through the whole thing, it's like, they can feel it. And that's what's cool, especially with like a lot of Ryan's fans, a lot of my fans, is they're open to, they trust us. They're like, if you're working with this person, then, I want to look into them. I want to research them. Or even your people have like come up to me and been like, yo, that was dope. Like, I want to check out your stuff. Like, so it's very much
I've definitely had people messaging me saying shit about you guys. Like, yo, that dude Ryan, like, he's fucking hot.
I'm pretty hot.
Just kidding. They didn't say that. But they were like,
sorry,
they're like, yeah, bro, that dude's
outside the room right
he's
now.
like, yo, that dude's crazy, bro. He be snapping. Like, I'm like, yeah, man. That's why we're here. Like,
that's what's been
I'm not
so
just going
cool.
on tour with some fucking bozos.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But the show that inspired a song, you guys probably heard this story because John loves telling this story because he was there for it. John, Big Drip.
Shout out merch guy John.
Shout out John.
Big Drip.
Big Drip.
He just dropped a single. Go peep it.
But the tour I did for Vanilla, I did like a 6 or 7 show run of headlining like Northeast shit when the album came out, and the last show was in New York. I was fucking so sick. Like, not food poisoning like you, but I felt like I was about to die. Damn. And my voice was hella shot. There was like 200 tickets sold. Shit was nuts. Mad industry people that I was just meeting for the first time was like, I need to like do this somehow. So I was chugging honey and drinking tea the whole ride, the whole day. And somehow like I powered through the show. I don't know how the fuck I did it, but I almost died. So my song adrenaline. Honey is from that, because I just basically like made a metaphor of like it's something I depended on for that situation. So it was like I made it like a love song, but it's
definitely the 51st time I
You
heard
love
that
the
one.
honey, dude.
You were my cure. I'm insecure. I was insecure because I couldn't fucking sing because I was sick as shit.
It's a pretty big problem.
You guys get it?
Talk to
I
him.
get it.
Songs, am
Dude,
I right?
you're such an artist, bro. So cool, man.
Pretty artistic, if you ask me.
Personifying
Definitely
honey.
artistic. Fun fact about Dylan, he used to draw when he was younger, so that's cool.
That's cool.
I can draw really well, so I don't get it fucked up.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Last leg starting, or the second last leg starting tomorrow. L.A., Denver, Fort Collins, Salt Lake, Mesa, is it? In Seattle.
Mesa, yeah.
Mesa.
What city are you most excited for?
Tomorrow in
Yeah,
LA.
LA.
Well, I'm getting excited for the whole thing because this is more like not my grounds of fans, but like
Yeah.
like out of nowhere, I've had the most fans hit me up about all these shows, like
Yeah.
saying they got tickets and stuff. But Seattle, I think is gonna sell out because it's like a smaller venue, and we were like 24 tickets away from selling out 2 weeks ago. So like,
Yeah.
I think it'll sell out, and then definitely tomorrow just because it's like all the homies that do all the content is gonna be. It's just gonna be like,
L.A. is gonna be an interesting one.
It's gonna
be a lot of clout in the building.
a lot
of clout.
a lot of.
And I'm gonna
very
stand in the
important kids.
middle of the fucking venue and say, "Come on through, fellas and ladies.
Let's
Come on
party.
in."
Stroke the beard.
Yeah, please.
I'm definitely excited about tomorrow because we've been living here for a year now,
Yeah.
and
Not me.
you know, well, yeah, I mean, like me and Bob. Sorry. Fuck you. I don't care where you live.
Where do you live?
Ryan lives down the street, but fuck him. Yeah, no, I just feel like we've met a lot of people here, and like they've always said like, "Yo, when's your show? When do you have a show?" I'm like, "Nah, man, never played LA. Just waiting for the right moment." Well, here's the moment.
And first of all, I was supposed to have my first show at this same venue like 3 months ago, and then there were a ton of complications, and it was the first show I ever had to cancel in my entire. Like, I felt like the world's biggest dingus because I put like the most hype I've ever put behind a show. Kids bought a ton of tickets for me, and then there were some issues with some other people on the show. And then we just had to pull the plug. Ultimately, me and Logan. Shout out to Logan. I'm sorry, Logan.
Yeah, we almost didn't get this.
Logan
show.
Yeah,
Paul?
I literally
Logan Paul?
almost. No. I wish. I almost screwed up being able to get a show on this leg because I had to cancel that other show. So I was terrified.
yeah.
And
Like
then-
when we hollered at him, because we know Logan because he used to work at Webster Hall in New York.
Yeah.
Oh.
So-
yeah.
Damn.
He hit me up and was like, "Yo, anytime I want to do LA, just let me know."
I'm
was like,
literally
hell yeah.
gonna bow down and kiss Logan's feet tomorrow.
And then we
because,
hit
like,
him up and we're like, "I'm doing a tour with Ryan Oakes." He's like, "Ryan Oakes?
Yeah.
He's known to cancel some shows around these parts."
Yeah, like
I
my
think we're gonna have to
first-
pass.
My first gig in LA, I canceled it like an idiot because of stuff that was out of
That's
my
really
control.
dope.
And then I had mad.
Well, accepting the show was your
Th-
control.
This was like the first time I ever dealt with a shitstorm from fans because I had
Rookies,
like
dude.
I honestly didn't realize how many tickets were sold
Rookies,
because
rookies.
I pulled the fucking card and then they sent the refunds out the next day.
Wow.
And then people were blowing my shit up.
Oh, I bet.
I've never been yelled at by fans,
You
and they
sell
were like,
out.
"No, it wasn't shit like that." They're like, "Yo, what the fuck happened, bro? Like, we were so excited.
Oh,
this
wow.
show's in like 4 days."
Wow.
He definitely
And,
didn't
like-
sell. He didn't sell out. He sold in, dude. He fucking flipped this. He made nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
"I'm out."
Yeah. And then so like, and then
Sold
so
in.
like, I went back to those kids and I was like, "Yo, we did it right this time around. Like, give it another chance. I promise it's gonna be worth it."
Yeah.
And now there's like so many.
promise.
There's so many, dude. I don't know.
I'm about to
tomorrow,
hack your
man.
Twitter and say,
It's
"Yo,
so-
It's gonna
show's
be crazy.
canceled."
That'd be hilarious. I'm not showing up tomorrow. Joke's
It's
on
gonna be
you.
interesting because this isn't gonna roll until after the tour is over. So
Yeah.
we're gonna be able to reflect on the people listening and be like, "Wow, I was at LA and
And it was trash.
And there was 3 kids. It's like,
what do these guys think they were talking about?"
Hopefully that didn't happen.
Yeah,
Future
hopefully
self.
didn't. Hopefully didn't. What do you think?
Hope you killed it.
What's
What-
been?
what- hey, hold on. We didn't get.
I only got to
answer, dude.
rant.
Oh,
I don't
dude,
even
my
think I
bad,
answered
bro.
the question. What was the
Nah,
question?
you're more excited for LA.
Yeah.
That's enough out of you. How about you, pal?
So I'm excited for Denver because I
Smoke the reefer?
I mean, a little bit. We'll see. But I just there's a lot of people out there who I think relate to what I do because I'm from Jackson, Wyoming. So
Yep.
it's like I have this music video. Shout out to music video, Never Gonna Die. So we filmed that in the mountain. So like I come from kind of a mountain town in that culture. So I do have a lot of people around that part that I've never played. So I'm really excited. So
You haven't played Denver?
Friends there too. I never played Denver.
Really?
No.
Never played.
Why did I think that you have a million times?
No.
Oh, you played Denver.
I did.
Ryan did with.
We played 400
Carabeo.
people in Denver,
It's
so if no one
crazy.
shows up, that'll be embarrassing.
Well, it'll be the opposite of Philly.
Yeah.
You know how you like, love the
Also-
progression in Philly.
also-
Denver will be the fucking
Yeah.
nosedive,
That'll be
dude.
dope.
See ya.
Let's retire.
But Salt
Yeah.
Lake too, because my parents are coming through. I got a couple friends coming.
Let's
through.
go.
That's dope.
Salt Lake's
Miss-
gonna be fun too.
Mr. and Mrs. Abstract.
Coming
That's your
on
name,
through.
right?
My
Here
last
in
name
Salt
is
Lake,
Abstract. Yes.
Here in Salt Lake, Utah.
You'll have a good time in Salt Lake.
Yeah. I mean, the best day of my
What's the
whole
next
life.
question?
Uh,
I'm ready for the next question. Bob.
okay.
We're
Well,
running
you
the
didn't
show.
want it. You didn't want it. Now you want it.
Bobby.
I'm running the show, folks. All right, guys. What's the hardest lesson you've learned in the music industry?
Okay.
Crickets.
I don't know if this counts as a lesson, but it's just like I have had to learn many times to not get my ego up, because that shit will kick you right in the fucking dick. The second you feel like super confident about something, I always get like kicked in the nuts the next day, and something terrible happens, and then it feels like it's like spiraling out of control. So I'll try not to let anything get to my head now, regardless of how big it is or seems, because I'll just get kicked in the nuts.
Be humble.
I think mine is the music industry is so big and so small at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, everyone kind of knows everyone within it, so you have to really be mindful of like the way you deal with people in like relationships, because if you burn one bridge that you think doesn't matter to you, that could
What Ryan's saying too is like that ego, it'll bite you in the ass.
totally that could like domino into this guy knows this guy knows this guy, and you were trying to deal with this person, but you fucked this person over, or like was rude to him or whatever. That like you could just cut off ties from like so many things. And I didn't learn that by doing it. I've just seen other people do it, because I try my best to not be rude to anyone and just
I think Dylan's the best at that.
treat everyone with respect.
100%.
Dude, I used to freak out on people. Like, so,
I mean, you
100%.
just have to like be like, okay, I'm actually fucking pissed right now, but no one's gonna know until I get to the hotel.
Yeah.
And I call Bob. I'm like, yeah, you can't believe what this fucking because you just don't want to be that guy. Like,
Yeah.
that's such a bad look. Like, I've seen so many people just be flipping out on sound guys, or like fucking yelling at promoters or like openers, or like or each other, and it's just like just a bad look.
It's not worth
Also,
it too.
it's so big because you don't have to be like worldly famous to have a career in music.
No.
And I didn't like really know that when I first started when I was like 16. I was like, well, I'm just gonna be Drake. You know what I mean? Like, here you go.
Yeah.
But it's like that one, that's not everyone's goal.
Yeah.
And two, like, we're all musicians right now. Like,
Yeah.
and no one really knows.
You all
what
live
the fuck we
full
are.
time off that career.
So it's like there's a lot of ways to maneuver through this. Like, there's so many paths to like find your niche in it. You know, if you can hit on a few of them, you
That
can do pretty
actually-
well for yourself.
Yeah, that goes
Yeah.
into what I wanted to.
Yeah. Sorry, I stole your point.
No, it's all good. No, that's I want to build off of that point. Because there's a
Lincoln
lot of
Bell,
like,
dude.
there's parts of what we do where like we're very plugged into social media, and like we have to be, like we have to promote, we have to put out our pictures, and tweet, and share our music, and
Big
respond
content,
to
guys.
fans.
Big content, guys.
You gotta. But the thing is, you can't get lost in that. You gotta remember that this is what you're putting out. You don't have to necessarily take in what everyone else is doing, and a lot of people get they lose themselves trying to do what other people are doing, and they're getting success off of. Like, you can't get caught up in what everyone else is doing. Like, that's the biggest thing I've learned, is like just to do you. Whatever ideas you have, I mean, learn from other people and like listen to other people, and but be selective about what you really resonate with. Like, don't just do it, because like for like 2 years ago I was like, oh, I have to drop a song like every 2 weeks, every month, stuff like that. Like, I have to keep my content going. And like this year I've taken the most time to make like quality, especially because I've been working on my album, to like just sit back and drop stuff when I feel it's where it needs to be, and like I've had the most growth in the last year. like regardless of how much content I'm putting out. But it's doing it smartly, and it's really doing things that resonate with you, and whether or not everyone else is doing it really doesn't matter, because there's a lot of different ways, like you were saying, like there's different keys. I was talking to you about this, is like everyone has their own key and lock, and like discovering what yours is the important thing. Like a lot of people wanted to do the Russ thing. They were like, oh, Russ dropped a song a week, like I gotta drop a song a week. Like that was Russ's like key and lock, like that's his key and lock. And then you have someone like Futuristic, where he's constantly making content, constantly grinding, constantly out there, but he's a high energy person where that resonates with him. That's him, that's the way he operates. But so you have to find what resonates with actually you as an individual, and you know, work it into your marketing plan, how you do things, how you create, how you put it out. And that's like the best way to feel healthy about what you're doing, because it's a direct reflection of you. So people really got to think about what their key and lock is. You know, don't get caught in what everyone else is doing. Also for yourself, we talked about this, like our own definition of success. Like really got to figure out, like personally, what do I really value? What really brings me like fulfillment? Like don't look to other people to be like, this means success, that they're doing this, like that's what I have to do. Like you have to really look at yourself and, you know, find out what really makes you tick and what you're after. You know?
Yeah, so basically there's just a lot of ways to maneuver, and whatever's right for someone else might not be right for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Also, like, I want to go off that too, because I think a lot of people that are starting out don't put out enough shit to see what's gonna work.
Yeah,
that's like a mistake.
Yeah,
like
I'm literally still doing that.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why
I'm on my 11th project. It's my 11th album.
I have way more than that. So I'll just let you know now.
I have no album.
Dylan's on a grind.
Yeah, I have like fucking 30. No, probably like 13 though. Like
Boom.
I've done a lot of projects that are all deleted from the internet except one.
So sad. And the music video's gone. YouTube.
See ya.
Dude,
But
come on.
I think the reason why you were able to kind of take a step back and put out less stuff and still grow is because you had success. So it's like you were kind of at a point where your catalog was like working.
Well, this is going back to what we're talking about with Bobby.
Connected to a base.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
my version of success is bringing my ideas to life. So even like what I showed you today, like with the whole CGI, with the whole movie I'm doing, like success for me is being able to do that, being able to make that, being able to make that idea a reality.
Yep.
So that's why, like you're saying, like I'm able to step back and able to make that creative process and create that thing is my version of success.
I just want to say, like, I think you've earned the right to be able to do that. Like, people are like so fucking like fancy when they're first starting. They're just like, nah, man, this has to be like perfect. Like, I can't do anything.
Yeah, you gotta just put shit
like,
out and see how.
You're about to spend all this
react.
time on this one fucking idea, and you have no listenership at all.
Yeah.
And you're gonna put it out, and no one's gonna care.
Yeah.
And no one's gonna care for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to just try it.
Yeah.
And then once you have a point where you can do that, then you can overthink and be artistic and be way more selective, you know? And that's what Russ is doing too.
Yeah.
You notice Russ ain't dropping every week now.
No.
He has a fucking huge core. He can just be like, fuck y'all, I'm dropping when I want, what I want.
Yeah.
If
and
not,
it's still working.
go back and play the other stuff.
He's still growing. He's still playing bigger shows, like, you know?
Doing
So
arenas.
you have to, like, earn that, I think.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's that glass ceiling. Like, it's even like Kanye, Drake, Mac Miller stuff. Like, they don't have to be putting stuff out all the time. They've already broken that glass ceiling. They can put out stuff anytime.
Bro, Frank Ocean could put an album out in 12 years and say nothing until then, and I will listen to that immediately.
Dude, Frank Ocean, I ordered his, like, 2-disc. It took 15 months, and I wasn't pissed.
15 months.
Yeah, I ordered the double disc. And
He comes in, he's like, it was worth it. Thank you so much.
It took forever.
15 months.
It was like
that doesn't, to me, that doesn't make any sense.
That's foolish.
Yeah, that's foolish. They could
But
definitely
I get
ramp
what
up.
you mean. Like, it's worth
They
it.
No, but it's
definitely,
like, it wasn't-
but they can ramp up the production. That's sad.
Yeah, but I
Or
was.
they have a one-man team running the operation.
It was
I
just
don't
Frank
know,
by
dude.
himself in his house.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. Like, I never was
100
like,
discs a
I
day.
want to cancel my order. Like, normally you'd be like, a year and 3 months, I cancel my damn order. But I was like, oh, I'll wait. Frank
It's
Ocean.
fine.
You know, but that's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
glass ceiling.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, you just wait.
Like, I still feel that way, and you might feel that way too, Ryan, because I know you're dropping, like, hella shit. But I feel like I haven't earned that yet. Where if, like, I don't want to say if I take a break, like, people will stop caring, but, like, they might. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have, like, enough where I feel comfortable to just, like, sit back. Like, I'm still just trying stuff. But also,
you did
like,
all 20, and you did all 2017. The song every other week or every
10 days,
10
right?
days.
I did that for 2 years.
Yeah.
Every 10 days.
Yeah.
But like, also looking back at those, like, I feel comfortable with all those songs.
Yeah.
Me
Like,
too.
I feel like artistically, I'm at a point where like I don't fucking miss anymore.
Yeah.
Like to me.
Yeah, me
You know
too.
what I mean? So it's like
I
I'm
did
just like a machine at this point. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm just gonna let them fly till I have a bunch of shit that connects, and like I'm definitely getting there. And then I'm just gonna like lock myself in and be like, now I'm about to make the best shit anyone's ever heard.
Yeah.
On earth.
Well, that's the thing. I tweeted that the other day. Actually, at the end of a tweet, it was.
You tweet a lot lately.
I know.
Been
Been
going
on
off.
ham.
Well, because I have so much. I have this album done, and I have the visuals
Yeah.
done, and I'm so anxious.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
like,
We
I need
talked
to
about
say
this already.
something. I'm so like, I can't talk about it, but I kind
Yo,
of want to talk about it.
Luke
Like-
called me today. He's like, "Yo, where you at?" I'm like, "I'm at Walmart getting a couple things with Ryan. What's going on?" He's like, "When are we doing this podcast?" I'm like, "Not till 8 hours." He's like,
So anxious.
"Well, you think I can like come over early? Like I'm tweeting too much, bro. I'm getting anxious. I'm just in my hotel. I got too many thoughts. I gotta come over." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, stop
Come through.
subtweeting everyone. Come over my house. Talk to me."
Shout out to my girlfriend because she has watched me go through the most stressful time of my life the last year and a half, and no one knows it. Like because of a lot of what I've been doing is for a long time, you know, as an independent artist, everything's on you. You get to decide when everything's done. You get to decide when it comes out. And I'm not working with the label. It's nothing like a music release thing. It's like these visual aspects that I've been doing. I've been working with other teams, and I have to trust. And
There's
I
a lot
have
of
to
moving
wait.
parts to it.
Yeah, and I have to like be patient with all this stuff.
Yeah, with
and
the
that's
complexity of that stuff, I would imagine that's not happening in a month or 2 months.
No, and it's like
You mean to tell me you didn't do all your CGI by yourself by hand?
While you're recording music
Sorry,
at the same
man.
Get
time.
it together, dude.
But that's the thing is like it's been a learning process for me too, like to be patient, and like it's definitely like, and I don't know, you just get
It's
anxious
just a process, man.
because as you get bigger and make bigger moves, like there's things that you have to sacrifice a little bit
Yep.
to make that happen, and controlling all your stuff, you know, even working with like distributors and you know stuff like that. It's learning patience because for a long time as an independent artist, you're just like, well, I have this idea, I want to
Yeah.
say this, I can put it out right now.
We're so spoiled in that way.
Yep.
Like we don't even realize it.
Dude, there's people who have been shelved. Like, shout out to XV, incredible artist
Damn,
who
I forgot
got,
about that dude.
dude got shelved by his. He worked on this like huge.
That dude was
album.
popping at one point.
He's coming back slowly. I talked to Jonas about it.
Fire.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
dude.
that guy.
Yeah, but he's so fire, and like he got signed and like got shelved.
Wow.
That album will never see the light of day, and like I could not deal with that. I would freak out. I'd be like, that's my like.
That's horrible.
I made
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
That's
like,
horrible.
even like with what I'm doing, like I still have all my control, but it's like the anxiousness, the patience, learning, like, you know, to give trust to someone
Yeah.
else's creative process, you know.
What would you guys say is one thing you want to see happen in your career that hasn't happened yet?
To dropping it 1 million plays in a day.
That's crazy.
That
I'ma
was
do
wild.
it.
That's gangster as fuck. If you
Yeah.
pull that
What's the
off.
most you've ever done?
In a day, 25,000.
Mine was 7 plays.
7 whole plays.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, it was really good.
For sure.
It was one every like, you know,
4 hours.
Yeah. Good
Close. A little less.
3.5.
Yeah.
Spotify literally just blessed me one day when I dropped and were like, fuck it, let's do it. And they just
Run
put
it.
me on like a ton of playlists, and I
Let's
got
run
like,
it.
yeah, I got like 25,000
I was
something in a day.
Wow,
Gold
that's
Mines.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you. I think I was with you or some shit.
You were stoked.
You were like, yo,
Bro,
what the
I was
fuck's going on?
freaking out. I was like, yo, I'm Ghost, you idiot. And then I wasn't Ghost.
I'm gone.
All right, Dylan. Yeah, I'll call you back. Nah.
Yeah. Deleted everyone's number.
are you?
Smashed my mic.
Next
Quit.
song flopped.
Yeah, it did.
So 25K in a day, or you want to do 1 million in a day?
Yeah.
What about you two?
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I want to do outside of music too. I don't know. It's like I want to, even with what I'm doing right now, I'm showing. I wanted to like show that I could direct, I could screenplay, I could do all this stuff. But it's like, I think that's where I want to go. Like success wise, is just being able to, you know, take. I believe as creatives we can actually do anything. If you're a creative, you can actually channel it through whatever you
Yeah,
want. If
for
you
sure.
focus enough and you learn enough about it, you can channel that through anything. Like Childish Gambino, my like biggest idol, I'd say, is someone who's done all the things that I want to do. So it's like I think it's really just
What's he done?
It's just everything, but yeah.
it's kind of a couple
Act,
things.
sing,
Wrote,
direct,
a
a
couple
little bit
things.
everything.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Nah, he's one of my favorite human beings.
No, he's amazing, and that's what I'm saying. Like I'd love to just keep expanding and keep creating things, and you know, just see where it takes me. Just keep making things and, you know, executing ideas.
Dylan?
I just want to do a song with Abstract, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Pull up.
So basically, I'm good. Like, so I already did like a couple.
Yeah.
Nah, I want a Grammy.
Grammy would be fire.
I'm gonna get one too. So
When? Within what
Can't tell
time
you.
frame?
Can't tell you.
Nah. You don't even want to
Before
I think
2000.
when you're 45.
Before 2070 for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we got a good ballpark.
I just feel like I can write the shit out of a song.
Yeah.
So one of these times, I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna make the best song of that year, and then I'm just gonna be like, oh, here you go.
Hell yeah.
So that's it.
It's gonna happen. Where can people find you guys on social media if they don't already follow you?
MySpace, AIM.
Unreal.
LinkedIn. Hit my LinkedIn, fam.
I'm on just Farmer's Meat.
Farmers Meat.
Yeah.
Farmers
farmersmeat.com.
only, dude.
Farmers only.
Come on, you don't even know where you're at.
Farmer's Meat sounds like a weird porn site.
Come
Yeah,
on.
that sounds
Farmers
very interesting.
Meat, MEAT.
Very interesting.
Chill, fam.
Maybe.
Christian Mingle.
I was gonna say that.
I'll have them all tagged up because I know you guys are just complete bullshit right now. Everyone's like, ChristianMingle.com. Where are these guys? I don't
You
see
can
them.
find me
Yo, I
anywhere
don't see them.
imaginable.
Google it.
Google it.
Head up their aims because they
ain't
have all
hard.
their away messages.
Hit me up on AIM. It was running back X Ryan.
That's so fucking
Wow. Before I ask the last question, appreciate you guys sitting down for this. It's pretty
Thank you,
dope.
Bobby.
And what's interesting is that
Glad we didn't have to stand up and do it.
especially that you guys all have gone through these like little different paths to get here. Some of you have done a lot of shows, some of you haven't in the beginning stages, and then growing up in different markets. It's pretty dope, and this is definitely a good next step in this Groupisode series because I want to keep rolling in more topics instead of just the one-on-one guests. So I appreciate you guys coming in. And we're gonna turn up tomorrow in LA.
Just make sure I'm in every Groupisode.
Not
So
gonna
far,
happen.
I'm in
I'm trying
all.
to get you the fuck out of the next one, but
I'm gonna make my way in
I can't.
somehow.
I can't get it. Last question. One piece of advice from each and one of you. Somebody that doesn't have a passion, purpose. One piece of advice. What do you say they do?
I'm gonna say the same thing I did last time. Is that okay?
Please do.
'Cause, like,
I
it's
don't
where I
remember.
stand,
I don't remember.
I was just
I
thinking.
literally
This
was
was
just
40
like-
episodes ago.
I've done it. I feel like everyone that eventually finds their passion has done it too. It's just do a million things. Find one thing you're good at, and then you'll like something that you're good at because people appreciate you and people like to feel useful. So find what makes you useful, and then if you like it, fucking do it. If not, don't do it, and then keep finding other things that you're good at, and then just eventually one thing will click. Yeah.
Talk to him, Ryan Oaks.
Yeah, fucking
Abstract.
speak.
My
I talk words, bro.
My job.
I'd say the important thing is like a lot of kids these days are told by either their parents or their peers or anybody, you know, what to do, like what to like even like what is cool. Like, and I think a lot of times people get so caught up in what the outside world is telling them is, you know, what they need to do, when in reality what they really need to do is exactly, you know, who they are. Like really look at themselves and be like, what do I really want? Like even going back to the success thing, like your version of success, like what is it? Like without all these voices, you know, like being projected at you, what are you trying to project out? Like what do you actually want to do? And that's like a lot of times like people don't take time to really look at themselves because it's a lot easier to just hear from people like 100%. What they should do instead of investigating yourself and being like, this is really what I want, you know. Go for it.
I agree.
I concur.
I agree with both of you guys. I think that was my answer to what you said. Basically do a million things. Like that was what I said. But another tactic you could use is listen to a Purpose and Youth podcast. 'Cause there's a
100%.
lot of inspirational guests on here.
Yeah.
Find your purpose.
If you guys
and
haven't
your
heard
youth.
this yet and you're coming from one of our channels, also we're already on here, so you should probably already know it.
Yeah, you should go
True.
back and listen to those.
Pay attention.
It's free.
No, I just think you've done a really good job, man.
Appreciate it.
And I've told you this, but I haven't said it on air. I think you found a lot of people from different areas.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably people that listen to you that are inspired to try new things.
Yep.
So I would say, piggybacking off of that, feed your brain with information that can teach you something or show you how to do something that you already do in a better way, or just basically just never stop learning, and you'll eventually land in a place where you're really good at something or like something a lot.
Yeah.
The learning I think the learning is important because it wakes you up with a sense of purpose. Like, I want to try this thing, or I want to get better at this today, or
I just know I consume so much information throughout the day, every single fucking day.
Yeah. But there's not a lot of people that do that. I don't think.
Well, you need to.
Well, I think they're consuming
Look at me,
the wrong
man. I'm
information.
fucking successful.
Yeah.
Be like me.
No, we talked about this a little bit. Yeah. There's a lot of people who sit in the studio and stare at a wall or their monitors, and they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I can't think of any songs.
Well, because they're not taking in life. You have to be a sponge. You have to consume information. You have to consume, you have to soak things up in order to spit anything out.
Yeah.
It's a bar.
I think I got in my most actually songwriting mode when I read books. I read like 20 books last summer, and then moved to LA and made like 90 songs.
Wow. Read.
I don't think I can read.
I didn't read a single book all the way through until
I can't read. I think
audiobooks.
Dylan is illiterate.
Audiobooks.
I definitely do that.
Audiobooks are great because you can be working on other stuff and just around the house.
I remember when I was reading that book that Ray Allen wrote.
Oh yeah, you weren't reading.
I was sitting outside, and I'm laying in the sun, just sitting there with my headphones on. Bob comes out. He's like, "What the fuck you doing? Make some use out of your day, dude. Stop being lazy." I'm like, "Bro, I'm reading. I have no book in sight. I'm fucking sitting there." He's like, "What do you mean you're reading?" I'm like, "Audiobook." He's like, "That's not reading." Yeah. I'm like, "Well, it's on an app that has a book on it."
But it's important. You got to recognize what is the link.
It's reading.
It comes down to you have to figure out what is the best way for you to intake, because some people would rather sit and read, and some people want to listen. I'm more of a listener than a reader. Yeah. I'm more of a talker than a writer. So.
And that comes down to what I was saying is investigate yourself. Learn what works best for you.
Yeah. Like, if I'm reading a book, I'm just like staring at the words, and then I'm just like thinking about some other shit. I'm like, and then I read it in my head.
Is this how you read? You're like, when I read a book?
No, I read it, and then I'm like thinking about something else, and I'm like on the next page, I'm like, I don't know what I just read.
Yeah, that happened to me in high school.
Just a bunch of words.
Yeah, that was high school.
Yeah. So I can't like comprehend information that way. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. I have no idea.
You actually know, because actually we live in a society where we have a lot of scrolling. We have a lot of like quick summaries of what's going on. So actually reading can like reset your brain a little bit, because you can actually get that comprehension back. Like, it is hard to like. I had to go, because I read a lot as a kid. I read mad books as a kid. And over the last year, I've tried to go back to that. And it's hard because our brains have been rewired with the internet and the way that we get information and text and all this stuff is totally different than when we were growing up. So you actually, like reading, you have to rewire your brain, and it actually helps with your comprehension. And, it's good for you. So read.
Put your hands in virtual.
Just listen to the audiobook.
Put your hands in virtual reality on 3, boys.
Feel like the Power Rangers.
Wait, what are we doing?
We're saying virtual reality on 3.
Mighty Morphin.
That's fucking so whack.
I feel like it's cool.
That's
what the cool kids do?
That's why it's.
All right, on 3.
Power Rangers.
1, 2, 3.
Virtual reality tour.
We'll catch you guys next time. See ya.
Peace.